This is going to be a fun show. Retweets with quotes.
Excuse you.
Let me see, what am I going to say? Have
Because we're not professional. Retweet. I didn't want to retweet that.
I threw some pictures in the Discord. Yeah.
Discord? Take a look at it. Not that one. Wait.
That's one.
That'll work.
Okay. Oh, that's Periscope. I want Periscope.
Oh, open.
Where's the... Whatever. YouTube.
Discord! I love our Discord. I love our Discord. Discord! Oh, look at you. You put the screen... I had that for a while. It was a pain in the ass.
What are you guys talking about? Oh, that?
Yeah, but something's
Little stream deck.
locking it up on my system now. My CPU, let's see, no.
John just tweeted, like, I care. Oh, I don't know if we should save this for the show or not. Tom,
Well, if
why
you're
would...
gonna ask, then you probably need to.
Alright, fine. Now I gotta, let me throw it on Trello real quick. Otherwise I'll forget.
Boy, that's no good. My
Why did they
CPU
have-
is pegged and does not want to recognize the Stream Deck.
You want to reboot? Or how long will that take? Let's go. Be done with the show here in a little bit.
Let's see.
Oh, you already started the
Yeah.
stream though, huh? Shit.
Just start killing stuff randomly. That's what I do.
I tried that.
Well, then I'm gonna keep doing what I was doing because that's what I do.
Let me...
Welcome, Buttery. Buttery, finally the stars align and I have no meetings, deadlines, or traveling on a Friday for the first time in weeks and can watch it live. We're so happy to have you here.
Oh, come on. What just happened to my camera? There we go.
Let's come back to this. I thought I could resize this Skype window before. Maybe I'm crazy. I was able to shrink you guys down. What are you doing, Tom? What do you think? You gonna run with it, or?
Well, we can run with it and I'll figure it out while we're going.
That sounds
Totally your call.
professional.
I mean, worst case scenario, you go down hard. Are you there?
Well, it's just the Stream Deck that decided it doesn't want to respond now.
Okay.
Well, I blame the person that sent
I
it
am
to
going to
you.
test one
It was
thing.
probably a virus. Probably a virus. Pop one more beer here before we get started. A nice full glass. Nobody's on. We only got a couple people watching. Hello, people watching. We're fighting through some technical difficulties right now, so bear with us. We will be with you momentarily. Buttery, don't think I've forgotten. I'm still expecting a photo from you. Something cool with your swag. That's good stuff.
Alright, I see one indication of what it might be. I'm going to switch a chord real quick and see what happens.
Go at it. Whoop.
What could go wrong?
Hey, John.
Sup? What?
Just sit there and do this for a little bit. Yeah.
What are you doing in there?
If the sun refused to shine, I would still... Oh. How touching. He's a sensitive dude.
Alright, let's see what that does.
Somebody was asking why we don't have sponsors. This is why we don't have sponsors. Right here. We have no idea what we're doing. You don't want us to have sponsors. Yeah, I wanted to get a good Japanesey one. Oh, COVID. Okay, Buttery. I'm gonna give you a pass because of the whole COVID thing, and I haven't been able to get anywhere decent. I'll send you a pic soon. All right. I'm gonna give you a pass on that one, Mr. Buttery Crumpet. If you're watching the stream now, we're fighting through some technical difficulties. But you are more than welcome to join us in our Discord channel. But regardless, whatever stream you're watching, you can talk to us through that chat as well. It all just pipes together. So welcome everybody watching.
Well, go ahead and start it. Just ignore me.
That won't be fun.
I assure you it is.
Yeah, I mean, John never talks. You're the only other person talks. If you're distracted, things are.
I've been drinking since 2, so I'm probably not going to talk much.
I will talk. Don't worry.
Alrighty, here we go. You're listening to episode 217 of PHP Ugly, a weekly podcast from 3 PHP developers. We talk coding, chat, whatever suits our fancy. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is a very hairy John Condon.
You know you like it. You like it a lot.
I do. And even a hairier Tom Wright.
Hello. I'm good.
Tom is
I was given an Elgato Stream Deck, and I'm trying to get it working. Thank you very much. The package that Eric said he had sent, he actually had sent. He wasn't just lying. And it showed up only 2 weeks late.
Whenever I send anything to Thomas, it usually has a quick stop with the FBI for a couple days before it moves on.
Yeah, nothing's simple with me.
You don't want to know they have like mics now shoved into your elephant.
By the way, there was an elephant in the package that Eric sent to Dom.
Yes.
Since we're not really saying what was in there other than the Stream Deck.
Yeah. All right, we got a little OBS now. Good.
We think.
Okay. Well, as Tom continues to work through the technical difficulties, I guess we'll start with John. John, how was your week?
Why me? We should start with you. We never start with you.
I'm okay. I'll start. I had a fantastic week, man. Excuse me.
Why was it fantastic?
Well, first thing, I've been coding. I've been coding like a freaking animal. Coding like an animal. Wife walked.
That's why
into
it's
my
all
off-
broken, huh?
Wife walked into my office at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm behind the keyboard with my headphones on, coding away, and she just taps me on the shoulder, and I look over at her. My wife wakes up that early because she works at a hospital. She has to be at work. She goes, "Had a good night coding, didn't you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll be in bed in a minute." She goes, "Man, I gotta go to work. It's 4 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "All right." So yeah, I had a good time. We had a marathon of podcasts yesterday. I mean, not a marathon. We had 2 back-to-back podcasts. I don't know about you, John, but they just felt good. Like,
Yeah.
not like this one. Felt good.
A little more professional. Tiny bit.
Now. Yeah. So we've been talking about it on the show for a while. We haven't made a big hoopla about it, and we'll let you guys know. We're not gonna make a big hoopla about it. We soft launched our product Argus.to, argus.to, which is just it's meant to be a drop dead simple cron job monitoring service. You don't have to install anything on your machine. All you have to do is when your cron job kicks off, you ping a URL, and then if you want to know when it ends, you ping the URL again. And based on some settings you set up in the interface, and based on those pings, the service starts to figure out. Well, it doesn't start. It figures out, if the cron job is running when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So
we built it because we needed it, and figured other people could use it.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Is something we've been dogfooding for months now. We've had a client on it, and we've been using it. Client's super happy with it, and that's actually what I spent a lot of time coding last night. Is just these things that like when we had the client using it, it was just like, whatever, just get it working. Let's just get it functional. We'll iterate. And then when we soft launched on Monday, which meant we basically opened it up to anybody who wanted to join. And when we soft launched, I started to go back through everything. I'm like always logged into it. So like the marketing side of it, I haven't looked at in a while. So I had logged out yesterday, and I started looking at it, and there were just like all these little things that were like just irritating me. Like, oh, I can't believe we forgot to do that. Oh, we didn't get back to that. Oh. And so I just started refactoring things. It all started with just the FAQs. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to refactor the FAQs tonight, and then I'll worry about everything else later. And the FAQs turned into the login page, turned into the registration page, turned into the bot, the support bot. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And
Glad you're having fun with it.
Oh man, I just had a blast. It was so fun because it was it's our project. There was no client to talk to. I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy coding. You know that about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So had a good week so far. I'm running out of steam. Like I'm definitely looking to get through the show because I've been busy. Like I went to bed around 5, and then got up at 9, and have been going full throttle from 9 until right now. I haven't had a break, so I'm thinking like after the show I'm just gonna crash.
I bet. I dragged him into a work Christmas thing today. We decided to do our own virtual Christmas party, holiday party, whatever you want to call it. And it really was just most of us hanging out for an hour or so, just kind of chatting, trying to take it easy, kind of review the year, look forward to next year.
And I think the team forgets that there are other people and other projects that aren't participating in like the Slack channels that like the majority of the companies, and we have other developers, and it's just nice to kind of get everybody just chatting again. It's always good. It was good. Yeah. So I thought, and John did a little State of the Union sort of talk, which was very good, very insightful. I think I appreciate it. It was good for me to know this stuff.
It was kind of last minute. It was something I wanted to do, but not. I'm not organized. I'm not great at getting that kind of stuff done, and decided, let me just throw a little something together, say a few words, just to have something, some sort of organization to putting a bunch of people into a Zoom room, which can often be awkward. So it gave us a little start. I wish I would have done a little more planning and done something like that, but then also some sort of like interactive game other than just talking. Although I enjoyed our talks. I mean, we talked about where people were living and getting a little more personal than just talking shop.
Yeah. John showed us his nipple piercings. It was a bonding moment.
Oh, see, now I'm bummed I didn't get to go on there.
You were
chose
invited.
not to.
I was busy.
I always feel like we need to restate for like new people joining us. If you're curious who we are, first thing, it's surprising how many people still don't realize this is a pro PHP podcast. Like, you still get the occasional message of, "Hey, what's wrong with PHP?"
Like, no, nothing, bro. We're great.
We like PHP, but we're all PHP developers by day and by night, apparently, like night, early morning. John and I have a company, a little development studio where we have about 8 or 9 developers now. I actually don't know what the current count is, but we have clients, and yeah, so that's our gig, man. We enjoy PHP. We have a business built around PHP, and yeah. So Tom, you did miss the joke I told John in our little meeting. So I had a conversation. I let my wife know, hey, we launched our first product, like the first product we built from the ground up for just us. We launched it, and it's called Argus. And my wife just kind of looked at me. She goes, interesting name. And I'm like, and she's like, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's around cron jobs. So there are these things called cron jobs. They run, and there's not a lot of visibility of whether they actually ran or if they stopped or if they didn't stop or blah blah blah. And so our service allows people to know that their jobs ran. She goes, oh, I get the name now. And I'm like, you get the name? What do you mean? She's Argus. Our guess is as good as yours.
No. That's not it.
I'm like, damn it, I need to change the name now.
For those who don't know, Argus was the 100-eyed god of Greek mythology. Always,
How do you know
always keeping an eye on everything.
That's exactly correct. You must have looked it up.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought I was so clever when I came up with that name, and I had stumbled upon it at some point. I'm like, I remember thinking, like, oh yeah, that would be a good name for a monitoring company. Like I always thought it would make a good name for a company, and so I threw it on our monitoring system, and now it's Argus.
Yeah, and I have been doing a lot of reading about Greek mythology lately. It's funny that now that I can see, I enjoy reading.
Crazy how that is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the glasses thing, I'm getting completely used to them now. It's more annoying to not have them on than to have them on, which is strange. Yep. And they are constantly dirty. They're always dirty, and there's nothing I can do.
Yep. I'm gonna give you a little hint. It's good for glasses, and it's good for computer monitors. This Whoosh, they are not a sponsor of the show. Where's the camera at right there? Whoosh, You spray some of this stuff on your monitor, your iPad, or your glasses,
and it melts and goes away. Yeah, nothing to worry about because you don't have a monitor anymore.
Yes.
It's actually built for it. I got this. I got this off a recommendation from the Apple Store. She's like, you know what we use? This is what we use. So
you must be tired because you're spending way too much time on a product that we're not sponsored for.
We're not sponsored by anybody. If you keep giving away sponsorships, then we're never going to be. We had talked a couple weeks ago about getting sponsored by System 76.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was your little pipe dream.
Yeah, I emailed them and they never got back to me.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, and I was pretty drunk when I did it, so I don't even know what I said.
That was nice that you did it. That's half the battle. I'm impressed.
Well, I also emailed Voices of the Elephant and nominated myself, and they haven't gotten back to me either. But I blame that on you, because you guys should have known that I would have done it just by telling me that all I had to do was email them.
Just email them. I mean, fucking Steve got on there.
Fucking
Jesus.
Steve. Thank you to Steve. Got my PHP Yorkshire Elephant. I believe he had a hand in that.
He did. He put me in touch with the person who could hook it up. So I do appreciate that. Yeah. I came all the way from our good friends over the pond, as they say, across the pond. So, yeah. How about you, Thomas? You said you were slammed today, huh? You couldn't take 15 minutes to drop into our little virtual love fest.
No, because right at that moment, all JavaScript on our website had stopped working.
Well, that seems bad.
It was bad. So I'm using Laravel Mix, and I'm just using copy to copy all of our JavaScript stuff over because it's all in basic vanilla, old school stuff. So didn't want to run Babel on it or anything. But then they started trying to look at the optimization pages from Google and what could we do to speed things up and get better ranking. So they said minify everything. And I went in and changed it from copy to JS, which calls Babel up and Babel does its whole thing. And Babel decided that our code should no longer run.
You realize you could do that locally before pushing to production, right?
Well, I thought it had worked. All of the stuff got properly minified. Babel didn't spout out any errors. I cleaned up all that stuff. But somehow one of our JavaScript includes just started throwing exceptions and killing the whole JavaScript pipeline, as you do. So
that's funny. It's funny you should mention that because again, back to Argus. I'm going to mention Argus about another 4 or 5 times this show. So buckle up. It's going to be a very Argus heavy show. But one of the issues I've been addressing with Argus is we have once you get logged in, we have a little support chat bot that we wrote, or well, we didn't write, but we have on the site. And in all the environments, it runs fine to where it needs to be positioned. Everything looks good. There's no issues. But then on production, the bot is the little chat bot is underneath the footer, and you can't. I mean, you can still get to it, but it's not obvious what it is. So it's underneath the footer, and for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why that was happening. Like, no matter what I did, no matter what I changed, as far as styles go, that behavior continued to happen. And then, of course, I finally sat back and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. What's the only thing different between production and all the other environments is in production, I run npm install prod and not or run prod and not run dev. So I'm like, could that really be the problem? Is the only thing, as far as I know, the only thing run prod is doing is like you said, minifying all the files. So I switched the deployment script to do npm run dev in production, and sure enough, the little stupid support bot is where it belongs. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why that's happening. So yeah, screw JavaScript minify.
But that's not JavaScript, is it? CSS.
Oh, yeah, actually, I think you're right. I don't know if it's the CSS or yeah, I think it is the CSS. Now that you say that,
It has
I
to
do
be.
think it's the CSS. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why it's happening. It's so frustrating.
Yeah,
But
just run dev in production. You're good. Nothing wrong there.
yes, that's it. I mean,
What could possibly go wrong? I do think we need to get some more marketing pages up for the site, though.
Don't feel obligated to show Argus.to on the stream, Thomas. I don't want you to feel, pressured to actually stream the landing page on our podcast as we speak about it. I'm just saying it's not a priority.
Well, you're muted too, so everything you're saying right now
Yes.
is not coming
I'm
across.
very busy deleting last names from our Patreon list again.
I thought you did that last week.
Yeah, I forgot it's in
the
two
scroll.
places.
Yeah.
Boy, you want to see Argus?
No,
No,
not anymore. Now we're moving on.
not like they
I don't
sponsor the show or
I don't
anything.
even have a button for this. That's the worst part.
You don't have a button for your browser?
No.
Oh, that's horrible. I don't even know what I'm looking at now. What are you doing? Oh, there you go. That's better. That looks better. So yeah. There is pricing involved. I did keep the 45-day trial, but as I spoke to my developers, they informed me that they made some coding changes, and now the 45-day free trial is managed through the Stripe subscription. So you do have to actually sign up for a plan for the 45-day free trial to kick in, and then of course you can cancel the plan before it's over. But it's not like one of those no credit card required sort of deals, unfortunately. I made the executive decision that I was okay with that, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to monitor that. When you're used to getting so many signups in a day, you can start to A/B test it and then see if no credit card gets you more people through the door.
Yeah.
Give us a few days and we'll figure that part out.
Yeah, a few days, weekend.
Yeah.
We'll have enough signups by Monday.
For sure.
Hey, as soon as people realize how popular Argus is because of this podcast, the sponsors will be all over us. That's my theory.
That's your theory.
That's my
and
theory.
You're sticking to
I'm
it.
sticking with it.
So right before the show started, like you said, we talk PHP, but we talk other stuff. I went to retweet our tweets, and I saw on Twitter, it says Sony removes Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store and offers refunds to customers.
Yes, they did.
What is going on there?
It's a twofold thing. It doesn't work on PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's right. You were playing Cyberpunk, and you even mentioned last week that the consoles weren't performing that well. As far as when we say performing that well, I mean like the actual game was glitchy, buggy.
Well, the game
not
on
doing well.
all systems is glitchy and buggy. That's the sort of general bad news. The thing people forget is that all games of this size are glitchy and buggy on release. They're all bad. Skyrim is still bad, and it's gone through 14 releases over the last 7 years or something like that. But the PlayStation, for example, the PlayStation has two major models. There's the base PlayStation 4 from when it was released 10 years ago, or what have you, and there's the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is significantly better, but still nowhere close to what PCs look like these days. So the PlayStation 4 Pro looks pretty good, looks all right, runs all right, not great, but it works. The PlayStation 4 base model, the original model, it looks like crayon drawings. Everything's broken, 10 frames a second. It's just,
Really?
it's junk.
Is it just because it's underpowered for the game? The game needs more.
Yeah, it's grossly underpowered, and not just power, but it's. This game wants a lot of memory bandwidth, which those systems just don't have. They have old-style spinning disks. They don't have SSDs. It's just
So it's pulled not because of content or anything. It's just it doesn't work on their system.
right. The other issue is that they wanted this to be released with all the new consoles, the new Xbox, the new PlayStation 5, but no one can get them. There's a huge, because of COVID and other things, there's a huge lack of availability for the new game consoles. So the game doesn't run like it's supposed to unless you have the right system. You can't get the right system. So PlayStation just said, you know what? We're halting sales because we're getting too many chargebacks and too many refund requests. So we're stopping all of it right now. My guess is that by mid to late January, it'll be back on sale and heavily patched for consoles. One thing is that this company, CD Projekt Red, is world-renowned for their patch cycles. They patch games better than any other company out there. So 6 months from now, this game will be a literally different game than it is today. There will be new quests, there will be new content, there will be just an amazing amount of new stuff. But because the pressure was on them to release it right now, then they released it in a broken state. And it's hurt them, for sure.
Alright.
But, yeah. And CD Projekt Red is also offering refunds for anyone who wants them, but they're also saying, hey, give us 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, a lot of stuff will be better. So
are you still playing it?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you?
Oh, yeah.
So you're not running into the same issues?
My machine is ballin'. It's so nice. I've got ray tracing on. I'm running it at 1440p. I've got nothing wrong. I mean, there are the other bugs. The AI in the game is not great, but I'm definitely really enjoying
is it something those bugs, is it something you're noticing?
Oh yeah.
Like you actually?
Yeah, there's an issue with the cops in the game where, like, if you commit a crime, they just appear around you. Like, they just appear right in front of you and start shooting at you because the AI doesn't know where to spawn them in. But I don't break the law in that game that much, so it's not a problem. And there's other, there's things get stuck on the screen sometimes. There's lighting glitches sometimes. It's all stuff that they need to polish out and get fixed, and it's going to take time, but it's not making the game a lot less fun for me. I'm still really, really enjoying it. So,
Like how much time is it taking to play it?
I think I'm 25 or 30 hours into it now.
In like a week?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just about.
Sounds a bit excessive.
It's almost a full-time job, man.
It's on the weekend I can easily put in, 15 hours.
How?
What?
It's like
How do you?
Saturday and Sunday.
You're married, right?
Yeah.
Of course, here I am saying what, and I just did like a 12-hour coding marathon last night. So
Right. There's a lot to do in the game. It's not like playing a first-person shooter or playing Rocket League where you're doing one thing over and over. So if you get bored of something, you can just like walk around and look at the neighborhood and just check out the stores and manage your inventory and read all of because it's got several books worth of lore in it that you just pick up and read. So like I can go into my little collection of books I've picked up and start reading stories from Night City and do that for an hour.
that's crazy. This is why I don't play. This is why I don't play video games. I don't have an issue with people who play them. That would be me.
Well,
I would burn 15 hours a day just playing a game.
But I've waited 7 years for this game to come out. So, like, my wife was well aware that my weekends for the next month or so are going to be less focused on taking care of the household and more focused on my virtual furniture.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm getting the house painted. No, the one in the game,
Yeah,
not
the game one.
not the one we live in.
Gold wallpaper, baby.
That's
So we had a client that called us, or like I woke up, I think it was Tuesday morning. I think it was Tuesday morning. I woke up to a client in Slack messaging me, and they were concerned because about the SolarWinds hack and the fact that we use Pingdom and SolarWind actually owns Pingdom. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. There's literally nothing they can do with that. But I'm like, the government, on the other hand, you really need to be concerned about that.
Yeah, super boned.
yeah. I kept hearing about the SolarWinds attack, and I didn't know what had happened. So finally, I think just this morning, I started researching it, and it's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is absolutely nuts.
Well, did you get to the part where the password was
crazy, if you don't know what
SolarWinds?
SolarWinds. What?
Did you get to the part where the password was SolarWind123?
No.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But John, it sounds like you're about to break it down for us.
Well, I was just going to say that SolarWinds offers security services, software to the government. Right?
Not quite. They offer a software suite to not Cloudflare. What's the other one? It sounds just like SolarWinds. I
do not know.
They offer this security suite that the government ends up using.
Right. But it's still a security suite, and basically hackers didn't hack the software itself, but hacked the installer, right? The upgrade servers. So
Right.
if you had it installed and then you upgraded as you're supposed to keep your software up to date, it installed malware or a virus on your machine, and then attackers had access to the networks that you were on, or just started gathering data about the people that installed it. I'm assuming any information they could get from usernames and passwords. And
my
it's
understanding
been since
is
March.
My understanding is it's been like all year long. Like this didn't just happen. It's been going on for a while.
It's probably the same people that created COVID. They're like, let's create COVID as a disguise so that we can sit in here undetected longer.
Yeah,
John's
it's
working on his next
so
novel.
FireEye is the company that got compromised through SolarWinds, and FireEye is the one that's really damaging because the government trusts them.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were compromised. I thought they found it and they're the kind of the whistleblowers, but they found it because they were compromised.
Yes.
Yeah, I are you sure about that? Because I agree with John. I thought they were the ones that discovered it.
FireEye discovered the SolarWinds breach while probing their own hack.
Oh.
So they were wondering how they got hacked and discovered that it was SolarWinds that was the culprit through the Orion software package. And this is apparently started in May was the rollout for this update that affected everyone. So it appears that they've had internal access to most government systems for a long time.
Oh, I read March of this year.
I might have been okay.
Yeah,
That might have been
I thought it
it.
was earlier as well. Yeah.
Still, that was just nasty.
Yeah.
18,000 customers affected.
So speaking
I'm-
of hacks,
I'm-
go ahead, John.
No, it's just because they say they have 300,000 customers. That's a big company.
Yeah.
At $5 a customer, that would be a lot of Argus customers. That'd be a lot of money to Argus. 300,000.
Argus
$5.
doesn't use SolarWinds, does it?
Nope, we don't.
Nothing to worry about there.
I mean, there was a lot of no. But speaking of hacks, and if this is your first time listening to the show, once again, welcome. We have a Discord channel, and our Discord channel, they're the true heroes. They're the true heroes of our show. Is our Discord channel. That same client who was worried about the SolarWinds hack also got wind that there was a hack on Google as well, and started hitting me with that. I'm like, no, I think you're confusing this. And he had sent me some links. I'm like, oh shit, Google was down yesterday. I didn't know that it was a hack though. And I posted it into our Discord, and a few people came to my rescue, and they're like, no, that's not. First thing, that site is a tabloid site. They're the worst site in Europe.
The Register?
Don't listen to them. And clarified everything for me, so I was able to go back to the client. A couple of them posted like the Google status pages showing where they acknowledged they had issues and what the issues were. So I was able to go back to the client and share that with them, and that really made them feel better. But yeah, discord.phpugly.com will get you into our Discord channel if you're at all interested in hanging with some truly cool PHP developers. And I'm in there as well, and Tom and John, forget John. But
I'm in there right now. What are you talking about?
The cool thing about our Discord is like it's not super chatty. Like people pop in there, some conversations kick off, but it's not just like this random, hey, I'm interested in learning Laravel, but I can't get the installer working.
It's not like our IRC channel was.
That. Yeah, I don't want to discourage people from doing that, but there's plenty of avenues for you to do that. And the PHP Ugly Discord channel is probably not one of them, but a bunch of very helpful people in there. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Discord doesn't offer that subdomain for signing up or accessing.
Well, I told you we had it for a while. We had
Discord.
Yeah, I think it's a premium level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Google crash, it brought down all of the Google devices as well as just your normal Google stuff. So if you had a Nest thermostat, too bad.
I have a Nest thermostat.
It apparently it didn't cause anyone's houses to like freeze or anything, but you couldn't control your Nest thermostat or like save your settings or anything like that for the time being that it was down.
Oh,
Could
interesting.
you? I wonder if it affected physical control. Like, could I go to my thermostat and change it? Like, I can understand I couldn't do it through the app,
I believe you had
but
no problem physically changing it, but just more Internet of
My
Things
little
garbage.
Now that you say that, my little Google Home. What's this called? The Home? Is this the Home?
yeah, yep,
The Google Home device. The kind of, yeah, the screen uh, personal assistant. It had completely frozen in this state that I had never seen before. Like the little Google logo was loading, but it was frozen. It was like a white screen, and it was completely non-responsive one morning. And I'm like, I think this just died on me. And this was before I had realized that Google was having issues. And I had unplugged it and left it, and it finally rebooted.
Well, there was some meeting where a tech said, "Hey, if all the Google services are down, the device creates this ugly boot loop thing." And someone just said, "Hey, if all the Google services are down, we have bigger problems."
Exactly.
Uh, this was actually a conversation I had this week. We did some uh, sprint planning for next year, and one of the projects that is being discussed is we're already using Firebase pretty heavily in a few things, but using it
Are you really?
more. Yeah. And somebody brought up the point,
Someone's
what
using
if
it more.
Firebase does what?
Someone's using it more.
Well, we've abused it in the past where you get rate limited if you're pushing too much data to Firebase, they slow you down. And
Really?
we didn't realize that, and there was a big change that was made, and then all of a sudden our jobs were just backing up and just not completing, or took all day to complete. And further research, I kept thinking, okay, Firebase is down or something happened. No, it was rate limiting. But it wasn't them saying you're rate limited. It was just they basically just slowed it down.
I love that.
That's
So
super
anyway,
interesting.
we got past that because we were abusing it. We weren't using it right. But that brought up the point of, well, what happens if we are using it more? We go into this next big thing that we're building, and now we're relying on Firebase. What happens if they do go down?
Uh-huh.
And my point was, Firebase controls a lot of your phone apps. So if it's down,
They'll never go down.
they're really probably working hard to get it back up and running.
I mean, it's like AWS going down. It happens, but really, I mean, it's so rare. Like, it happens less than it would happen if you try to run the servers yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But I mean,
So-
we're in the current .com bubble, and it's lasted 20 years longer than the first one. But the first one happened too, and people got overvaluated, and their servers were repossessed, and they went down overnight. And we can't be in a position where we say that can't happen to Cloudflare, that can't happen to Firebase, that can't happen. Like, there's going to be a day in the next 50 years where one of these services, it turns out, was embezzling or being embezzled, has no money, and then just is gone the next day. And it's going to screw a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, we are actually trying to be smart about it and have contingency plans for if that happens. Try and build.
So have you guys looked at other? I assume you're using Firebase as a NoSQL solution.
Kinda, yeah. It's managing state for some phone calls. The backup solution is that's using it for the real timeness that it provides, but having a fallback to making, doing a polling API call back to the servers. So there is a backup plan. There is a, hey, they're down right now. Kind of going back to PHP Architect with the circuit breaker pattern that's in there.
Yeah.
there's a way around things. You realize, oh, they're down right now. At first, you really slow down because you're timing out. You're not getting your data from Firebase. You start making your API calls. If you have that circuit breaker pattern in there, you just don't try Firebase for a little bit, and you just make your API calls, speeding that loop up a little bit until the service is back up. If
Yeah,
you're
that
not
was
subscribed
super.
to PHP Architect, you should be.
Yeah, PHP Architect. Yeah, for real, they should be sponsoring us. That is a fantastic publication. But we
Thomas, can you
also
get
do a
drunk and
podcast
email
with
them?
them.
See what you can do.
Let me get a couple more beers in me.
We just recently, matter of fact, I mentioned Wednesday we did a bunch of podcasts. That was one of the podcasts we did. Both of them were the PHP Architect podcast, and one of the podcasts we do is to not review, but we kind of go through that month's articles and just kind of conversations about it, and real world implementations, things like that, and the article John is talking about is from Eric Mann, Security Corner, and it was a pattern I had never heard of, which was called the circuit breaker pattern, and it's designed for when your application is dependent on external services, whether it's third-party external services or external services that you have, just not part of that core base, and the pattern, as John was explaining, does things like it makes sure that the service is available, that it's responding correctly, that you're protected from any issues, and that if something does happen to that service, it manages that interruption so that it doesn't it's as little impact to your customers as possible. And it really hit home for me because I've over the years have really started to embrace these APIs and using APIs and other people's APIs to run my stuff. And I started thinking more and more about, wow, I should think about this. And there's actually a package out there for Laravel, which I do a lot of coding in Laravel, that does implements the circuit breaker pattern as middleware to your application. It's I don't want to sound like I'm bullshitting you because I'm really not. But this last year of doing the podcast for PHP Architect, it seems like every month or every other month, there's just been this there's always that one article in that magazine that's just so impactful to me. Like, wow, this is really something to think about. And that was this, not to downplay all the other articles that are in there, but that was this one. This one was a really good one.
Oh, the interview one we did on the solid principles was great too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
can you say his name again though?
Vinicius Capitelli.
Vinicius Capitelli. I love talking to people.
I had to write out his name in what is it, pronunciation, where you kind of spell out sections of the word.
Yeah, phonetically, right?
Yeah, phonetically.
Yeah, phonetically.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, I don't. They always
I've been
make me do the names. Like both John and Oscar are so much better at it than I am, but they always make me do the hard names. Bastards.
Because you're better at everything else about speaking, about podcasting, just interviewing. You're so much better at all those pieces. You just can't say people's names.
I've got some news for us.
What's
I
that?
thought we were done.
PHP Storm, or the parent company, JetBrains, has released Qodana.
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 Okay. What is Qodana?
So this is an early access thing. They're just giving it out, putting it out there for people to try and play with. And it's a static analysis tool that you can integrate into your CI pipeline. So it can run
so many of these coming out now with PHP with PHP 8, with 7 and 8, and like you said, the attributes I think have really spawned these static analysis tools.
Well, this is a tool that they basically had a fan create as like a plugin for PHP Storm, and they said, it still has issues. It's hard to get this thing to work correctly because I'm not in the code base. I'm just using a plugin. And the real trick here is that what it does is it takes your inspections that you would normally have in your IDE and runs them as a static analysis and generates a report. So in the way that your IDE would have exceptions shown on the screen in red for you, Qodana will say, hey, we couldn't deploy this on the pipeline because the exception is here on this line because of this, and you need to do this to it. So all of the inspections and stuff that PHP Storm would normally do, you can now get out of your CI pipeline. And I guess they've been working on this for a while.
What's the benefit of that, though? I mean, just to have a more holistic view of it, like an overall view of it, or?
Well, normally this kind of analysis would be done with something like linting.
Yeah.
Or
like you said, the tool does it. I mean, the editor does it now.
Right.
For you.
So this actually takes the same inspections that you are running right now in PHP Storm and runs it across your entire project on a per deployment basis. So it's a one-to-one match with the inspections that you see on your screen as a developer.
Oh, so it's specifically designed for deployment. It's not so much a development tool.
No, you can run it as a development tool. The thing is that in PHP Storm, there's no simple way to say, run my inspections on every file and produce a nice-looking report. What this will do is give you a nice-looking report on the entire project as a whole, and it will use the same inspections that you have chosen for your IDE. So if I say, hey, listen, my IDE is in PHP 7.4 mode, so inspect for things that are not compatible with 7.4, and I'm running this version of Node, I'm running this version of whatever, I'm ignoring this type of inspection because I don't care, or I'm paying a specific attention to this inspection, because inspections you can say, is this a warning, an error, or a fatal exception? And you can apply all of those same rules, and I believe you can just export them to Qodana so that it matches what your team is expecting to see. And it can run headless.
And it's a Docker image.
It is a Docker image, JetBrains /Qodana.
Oh, it's it. Oh, crazy.
I'm downloading as we speak.
I see. Docker run. Docker pull. Nice. Very nice. Echo.
God, I hope not.
Right. Oh,
You hope not,
yeah.
what?
I think we're getting echo. I think our people listening to the stream are telling us there's an echo going on.
I think
We don't
we
have the stream up.
I think we both said the same thing. I don't think it's an actual echo on the stream. But it's too late to fix now. We're God knows how long into this. An hour into this.
Yeah. And Eric forgot to start recording everywhere, so...
That was, by the way, that was my issue with my Stream Deck, is that I had a little timer that apparently was trying to update the screen too frequently on the Stream Deck and locking the whole thing up.
You did a denial of service on your stream deck?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome.
See, Buttery Crumpets doesn't have any echo, and I knew he would say something. He's been listening since the very beginning of the stream, so we're fine.
No, he's talking about the Amazon devices. He doesn't have any of those.
Oh, everything's too confusing. Speaking of Buttery Crumpets, huge thank you to our Patreons.
Especially the ones with the red line around them. Wow.
Only you saw that.
See that.
I'm running
How am I
OBS.
supposed to know that?
I'm running OBS in studio mode because I have the Stream Deck now. Boy, this thing is fancy.
Is that why it looks different? I was wondering.
Yeah, so you guys can see the whole thing.
You always run in studio mode. What's the?
No, you normally has the two screens where you see them.
Sorry. The two screens is studio
Yeah.
mode. I have it in normal mode, streamer mode.
Because you have the little thing. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't need to queue the next
Yes.
scene up anymore now. I can just jump between them.
Yes, thank you to our Patreons, our patrons on Patreon.
Patrons on Patreon.
thank you very much. And if you need if you need cron monitoring service, stop Patreon and go over to Argus.
Or both.
Or both. Yes, that's always an option. Always an option. Oh, cool.
I think we're winding down.
I think so too.
It's probably because we started at 2:00 with our Christmas.
I'm
We-
definitely hitting the wall.
There is
man.
one thing I wanted to cover.
Lay it on us.
The COVID vaccine. Have you guys followed any of the development stuff for this thing?
Which parts? I guess a little bit.
The Pfizer vaccine, which is an mRNA vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not using a deactivated or partially deactivated copy of the virus. This is using mRNA to train your body to produce a protein that breaks down the key that COVID uses to enter the cellular membrane. So it doesn't have any of the side effects that normal vaccines have. And this kind of vaccine, they modeled it in 3D, and then they took an electron microscope and took thousands of pictures of the final result, and they stitched it all together into a 3D virtual model, and they compared the calculated model with the photographic model to see if what they had generated through their protein editing had actually worked, and it did. And this is going to be the first mRNA vaccine ever used in humans on the market. And the theory from listening to immunologists over the last week or so is that they could speed up this process in the future by 3 to 4 months. Now that they have this, now they have this technique and technology understood. The next new vaccine or the next new thing that comes along, they can just start cranking out vaccines for.
That's awesome and scary at the same time.
Isn't it?
That is. I was totally waiting for you to say Pfizer was sponsoring us, but yeah, I agree.
I have a friend
hope-
at Pfizer, and he's very excited.
We all have a friend at Pfizer. A friend of the show, Matt, works for Pfizer.
Oh, really? I didn't know Matt was at Pfizer. I have a.
I thought you were both talking about Viagra.
No.
I thought. I guess I shouldn't call him out like that. I apologize, but yes.
No, I have a friend who's working on cancer research at Pfizer, and he's very excited every day. Now, the thing with the mRNA vaccines is they require refrigeration to negative 100 degrees.
Huh.
Yeah. That
doesn't do
that's a
that.
big challenge.
No, mine doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
You need a new
you
freezer.
should probably get a better freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today, Moderna, their vaccine got approved for emergency use, and the Moderna vaccine is shelf stable. So while it's not as effective, it's still 70% effective, which is considered very good for a vaccine. It's cheaper to make, and it's very cheap to ship because you can mail it. So interesting stuff.
Where the flu vaccine is only 40 to 60% effective.
Yes.
I happened to see those numbers earlier tonight.
I don't know if you're seeing in our chat, not that this is at all related to anything you guys are talking about, but it's still interesting. Roger in chat says that Goodreads, which I don't know if you've heard of this service yet, Goodreads. I really want to try it out. Apparently, it's
not.
like if I'm understanding it correctly, and I'm assuming it's the same thing. It's like if back in the day when you went to school, you'd get the Cliff Notes of books. It's like the shortened version of books. I think that's what Goodreads is. I think it's like current day Cliff Notes. I'm not sure, but he's saying that the Goodreads API got pulled and a bunch of SaaS apps just died.
You're thinking of something else.
I'm thinking of so it's not called Goodreads. Okay, what is Goodreads then?
Goodreads is a sort of virtual library of books you've read, books that are recommended for you based off of what you've read, reviews. It's sort of
just a book recommendation thing, like a book club sort of thing.
Right. And they're hooked into a bunch of stuff.
Roger, was this something you used? You don't have to wait for him to respond. We're on a delay. Go ahead.
I'm trying to find the one that you're thinking of. It's a book summarization service.
Yeah. One of the YouTubers I watch always uses it.
Yeah. Blinkist.
Oh, is that what's called, Blinkist? Okay.
Blinkist is one of them, and it's, I believe, nonfiction only.
Blinkist, big idea and small packages. That doesn't sound familiar, but it might be right. I don't know. I never click on. Whenever somebody's stupid enough to sponsor a podcast, I never check them out.
Yeah, who would do that? Who would
us?
sponsor a podcast?
Did you hear? Hey! I was gonna say, Prince Harry, and his wife, Meghan. What's the last name?
Merkel.
Merkel. They are going to put a bunch of money and do podcasts on Spotify. And I'm just saying, Prince, when you're looking for podcasts, I think everybody will tell you
PHP Arch.
Best PHP podcast on the market is PHP Ugly. So I'm sure that's probably right up top of their list on podcasts that they want on Spotify. We will sell out tomorrow. I promise you. Just let us know.
I'll sell out tonight. I probably will. I'll start emailing Honda and Toyota.
Probably already have.
Yeah, I've got an auto form fill. This is, I believe, the last podcast for us for the year.
Good call.
That is fair.
Thomas.
Next week is Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody. And
Merry freaking Christmas.
The week.
Hey guys,
I was gonna be here, but if you guys aren't, okay, I'll take the night off.
we got through another year, man. How about a rough year, no less? Not that it's changed our lives, but yeah.
I've seen my wife a lot more. She's at home all the time.
Holy shit! We should have done something special for the people in Discord, like free keychains.
Well, we'll get on that next year.
Yeah, damn. Oh, man.
So, yeah, huge thank you to everybody who's been listening to us for, the past 3 years or 4 years or something now. I don't even know. I don't even pay attention. And
I think we did this once before. I think it was 4, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we all hope everyone has a great start of 2021, and things start to not be 2020 rather quickly.
Yeah.
It will stop. It will stop being 2020 in just a couple of weeks. I can promise you that.
You say that.
Oh,
You haven't
you
seen the
blew me away, Thomas.
you haven't seen the meme of the clock ticking over on New
Merry
Year's
Christmas.
to the 13th month of 2020.
Gotcha.
It's
Speaking of 13th month, did you know the 13th month is a Philippines thing? If you have employees in the Philippines, you have to pay them a 13th month.
well, that's awesome.
Yeah. The things you learn when you own a business. Just saying.
I'm still blown away that this is our last show for 2020. That's amazing to me, man.
Yeah, we don't usually take 2-week breaks. It's gonna be
3 weeks.
It's gonna be tough not talking to you guys.
Well,
Yeah.
you're still part of our Slack channel. You can still talk to us.
I'll have to drink with my cats.
Sure, they will appreciate it.
All right.
Oh, they do.
Well, I think that's a good. We might as well start our vacation then. I think that's it for 2020, episode 217 of PHP Ugly. We want to thank everybody, not just the Patreons, our Patreons on Patreon, but everybody who listens to us, everybody who participates in chat, everybody who pings us on Twitter. Positive, negative, I don't care, man. I love.
And if you
hearing
made
from
it to this part of
guys.
the show, we love you even more.
Yeah, I love.
And we're
I
worried
love
for
what I
you.
do for a living. I love coding. I love talking about code. I love
We have resources in the show notes if you made it
you
this far.
guys. I love Scotch apparently too much. I think we're gonna wrap it up. That's it. Thanks everybody.
I don't know why that
Merry
made me
Christmas,
laugh.
Happy New Year's. 2021 is right around the corner. Until then, talk to you later. I'm Eric.
I'm John. Sorry, Buttery now.
I'm Tom. Keep it
it
ugly.
Keep it up.
That echo
Yeah,
scare was great, Roger. That was
That was
funny.
perfect.
Roger, I'm gonna ban you from the goddamn Discord channel.
Oh, he doesn't have the power, I assure you.
Yeah, here's the coding gotcha. Way to go. Wait, no Christmas Day. No, you don't want that.
It would have been Christmas
gosh.
Eve.
Oh my goodness, guys. Wow. I didn't realize this was going to be the last show of the year, man. Damn.
This
the same
stream
thing.
deck is so
Can't do
fun.
it Tuesday night.
What's that, John?
Nothing saying we can't do it next Tuesday night. Just
guy-
kidding.
This guy. For the first 2-3 years, it was like impossible to get him on the show. Now he's like, oh, what do you got, you pussies? You don't want to record? Whatever, pussies.
So Stream Deck, you're loving it.
I am totally loving this thing. I might be using it excessively. I don't know. I don't care.
I told you, it was my everyday driver when I was on my Mac. I had my apps plugged into it. I had my Spotify plugged into it. I used it all the time.
Well, I just do
You
YouTube.
can-
That's all I have.
You can do it on Linux. There's actually a package out there, but it's so janky. It's janky as hell. I installed it. I configured it for a couple things, but my God, it was not good.
I love having it on this Windows machine. I've got little pictures of you guys on it.
That's scary.
The one thing I would suggest, I had one button that I called start of day. It was a little sunrise, and I'd hit that button and it would launch all my apps for the day. You know, all the apps I typically use, like my chats and things like that. It was very handy to have.
Well, someone made a package for it that allows you to do post and get REST API calls.
Yep. You can tie if this then that into it as well.
Yeah.
So you can hit the button and trigger something if this then that, and yeah, all sorts of cool things you can do with it. It's fun.
Oh, there's that one button. You click it and it's sudo wife make me a sandwich.
I
Oh my God.
could not get that one working.
So much trouble. Yeah.
I have this button though. Check out this button.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace of the whole.
I love that.
That's my
That is.
my little virtual audio loopback cable.
I tried to buy some Harry Mack swag this week, John, but
Tried?
yeah. Every time I got to checkout, it kept borking on me.
Every time I got to check out, your credit card kept bouncing. Did you report it or something? Come on, that's not cool, bro.
Because I think it's like a Shopify app they were using, and I actually worked with the developer. He had me send him screenshots and all that. It turned out it was like, because I'm a bigger guy. You can appreciate this, Thomas. I need that 3x or at least a 3x, and it was saying it was in stock on the website, but when I would go order it, when I would actually do the checkout, it turned out it was actually out of stock, and it wasn't handling the error correctly. For some reason, it was saying my address was invalid. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. That's why I had opened up the support ticket with them. So yeah, I ended up not getting anything, but yeah, I'm gonna give that guy some love eventually.
Oh, you already have. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
No.
My system
right.
just froze. Oh, there it's back.
You talking about my system because I wasn't on the OBS tab?
No. It was like my Skype was frozen, like everything.
Sure. All right. Well, you guys have a great Christmas and New Year.
You
Hey,
too.
you too. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this year. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, it's been.
We'll see everyone in
awesome.
2021.
2021.
Boy.
Alrighty, I'm out of here. You guys take it easy.
All right, I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you everybody for watching. Have an excellent evening and a happy
yeah.
New Year.